the question went something like this: how do we know what to believe of the Adventism that we've grown up with? All that we've heard from Walter Weiss, from conservative Adventism, how do we know what to believe? I just want to do something, if you can work with me for a moment. We understand the idea of a one world government. We get that from passages of Daniel and Revelation, particularly Revelation. And we talk about the 10 kings. So, we all can believe in a one world government. This core idea of a one world government, I don't mean to shake that. It's behind what Walter Weiss will teach, it's what is behind I will teach. Walter Weiss and I both believe in a one world government. But consider the following. What he's going to do is the exact same thing that socially conservative Protestant faction is doing. One world government. We understand that through the 10 kings, which, as we showed before, that was all taught in the 1980s as being this confederation of nations, these 10 nations, and it becomes globalism, both for Protestants and conservative Adventists. Globalism and the UN. Why is Trump so antagonistic towards globalism and the UN? Because his base is socially conservative Protestants, and they have a belief system that is antagonistic to globalism and the UN. So you automatically know what side you're on. 10 kings, globalism and the UN. Behind this all, it's a satanic deep state. So we'll photograph this afterwards and put it on the group. Satanic deep state. Within this deep state, there are these secret societies. And we listed a few. The Rothschilds, who are now at their most wealthiest, the 1,121st richest man on the Forbes list. Rothschilds, Illuminati, George Soros, Bill Gates, all of that faction. They tie this with growing immorality. One of the evidences is this growing immorality. That's why they'll take you to songs, lyrics from bands like the Beatles, etc. And you can know all this. None of this is obvious to you. None of this is in the open. You can only know this through secret knowledge. Secret knowledge handed from person to person, or through observing hand signals, or numbers, or logos, or through these subtle evidences that you'll find flashed. So you have to look for these evidences through things like 666, song lyrics, logos, etc. This was behind Mary Stuart Ralph. It's exactly what Walter Weiss does. So this is one side. All believing this, the danger is this one world government, it's what's coming. We also believe in this one world government. We don't go to Revelation and redefine it to that extent. But consider this. We believe in the 10 kings. But we're not going to approach it through conspiracy theories. This is going to be approached through conspiracies. This is going to be approached through parables. So where do you find 10? 10 of something. A group of 10. The tribes of Israel. You have the 2 and the 10. So when you have the 10 tribes, how are they structured? You have 10, but does each one of those 10 have autonomy? No. You have one control the other 9. One control the other 9 as a dictatorship. So one is a dictator over the 9. So you're going to go straight to a parable to know what those 10 kings look like. Ancient Israel will give you that, the 10. And what we can understand through other parables, this is one That's just one. You can go to a second, you can go to 1989 history and see it again. But this one world government, instead of being a deep state where they're all friends, what you see is the United States control the UN as a dictatorship. What we call unilateralism. This requires the coming together of republicanism and Protestantism. Church plus state. And you can prove that. You can see that even just through straight Ellen White quotes. What Protestantism is going to do. Is Protestantism going to work with the UN to bring about a Sunday law? No. Protestantism hates the UN because they see that confederacy and globalism as being what is going to bring about the Antichrist. Republicanism, Protestantism, church and state. We're going to use parables. We can use multiple parables if I list them down here. It's the 1 and the 9 tribes. One over the other. Another parable is what happened in 1989 as we went from 2 superpowers to 1 superpower. And the Gulf War, that's been demonstrated in other videos. Another witness, again, all using parables. World War I plus World War II equals World War III. So, World War I, Kaiser Wilhelm plus Adolf Hitler equals Donald Trump. Now, was Adolf Hitler or Kaiser Wilhelm working with a deep state where all the nations were friends behind the scenes? No. If Hitler would have won World War II, what would you have? You would have a one world government. There would be other governments. It's a too large territory to control himself. But they are subjected under his leadership. It would be as it was with the tribes, a dictator controlling the others. So World War I, World War II equals World War III. Dictatorship, dictatorship, dictatorship. So these are all parables that will give us a witness for what this would have looked like. So while we all can believe in the idea of a one world government, what that looks like will take you down very different roads. And the conclusion of that, why we've come to a point in 2016 where it splits not just Adventism but also Protestantism, is because now it's visible. If you believe the one world government looks like this, who is Trump to you? If this is your one world government, globalism, the UN, satanic deep states, spreading immorality that you can see through these secret signs, who is Trump to you? Trump is the hero. Trump is the Cyrus. He's the anointed to save you. If you believe in this, that this is what the one world government is built upon, not on conspiracy theories, but using parable teaching, that we have given multiple witnesses that each stand alone. World War II stands alone, but we have scriptural evidences and historical evidences. Then Trump becomes what? Trump becomes the dictator. And everyone who goes down this line of thought will have the wrong understanding about the king, the kingdom, and the external events that tell us what is happening and what is going to happen to the glorious land. So Adventism does not understand the external events. They don't see the destruction of Jerusalem that's coming because they're on this side with Walter Veith, using the methodology and coming to the same core principled conclusions as conservative Protestantism. This side, this is the message of John and Christ in modern Israel that we're learning through parables that are designed to save us from this, to warn us about what's about to happen. And when the Sunday law of our dispensation passes, We won't be over here seeing Trump as the anointed Cyrus, the hero that's to save us from the one world government. We'll see that he is the one world government. So while we have, it can seem that we can come to many of the same conclusions. Someone was afraid last week that I was saying we shouldn't keep the Sabbath anymore. And that was because I'd worded a sentence badly. I'm not saying that. We have the same conclusions. But what it looks like in reality can decide what side at the Sunday law you stand on. That's the message that we're trying to bring to Adventism, will bring to Adventism. And the